So far this season, I haven't had any crossovers with me here in the studio for Afterburn, but that's all about to change because I've got the 2021 Switchback Assault 146 Matryx chassis here with me in the studio, and really, it doesn't get much better than this. The Assault isn't new for Polaris, but for 2021, the 146 version in the Matryx clothing is, which has made this model even better. By now, the detail improvements of the Matryx over the old Axis are well documented, and all that goodness applies to the Assault experience as well. So I'm not going to go over the details of how this bodywork keeps you out of the slipstream, or how the 7S display works and integrates into the ride experience with Ride Command, or how the new heated grips work and their temperature controls. And I'm definitely not going to go over further details like the new blade headlight, or the new switchgear, or the increased storage behind the dash and under the seat. I guess I did kind of go through all those details. Anyways, the one I really wanted to talk about was here in the cockpit where the front of the seat really narrows up. This new design gives you a lot of freedom of movement to work your magic both on trail, but especially off. A key to this whole package is the IGX 146-inch rear suspension, which has made the Switchback Assaults legendary in the crossover segment. This suspension is known to give the sled the ability to really pop out of the snow, which is very similar to its RMK cousin, but it also retains the durability needed for hard trail abuse. You'll notice in 2021 that there's still a 144-inch version of the Assault in the old Axis chassis, and this one is 2 inches longer. And the reason for that is a simple one. In a crafty move by Polaris, they increased the pitch of the 146-inch track, making the distance between the lugs just a little bit bigger. What this did was cut down on the number of lugs, but most importantly, it shaved some weight despite the track being longer. Out front is the same Matryx suspension found on straight-up trail models, which gives the Assault the handling and control we've all come to expect from this front end. It's also 47 inches wide, the same as other trail sleds, but not adjustable. If you want the ability to narrow up the front end, you'll have to move to the SKS model, which will set the center-to-center distance as narrow as 39 inches. On the trail, the Assault is set a little taller than the Indy line, and you'll feel this with a little bit more pronounced inside ski lift. I'm totally fine with it, and I think buyers of this machine are more than willing to accept this small sacrifice in handling. Overall, the trail experience is a little bit more spirited than the Indy line as well. The uncoupled rear skid definitely adds to the hooligan factor on the trail, but it's also one of the keys to its abilities off-trail. Controlling both ends of the Assault are Walker Evans 2.0 velocity shocks that are compression adjustable only. However, they do have needle technology, which really ramps up compression right at the point of bottoming out. This means your suspension stays supple for most of the ride, but is there for you when you need to take those hard hits. Really, you can't get much better than these shocks on the snow. With our snow conditions here in Ontario, we option for the pre-studded ice storm track because it'll work really good with our unpredictable and sometimes icy snow conditions. Plus, we like the 1.5 inch lug height for our snowpack, which never gets that deep, and when it does, our options for off-trail riding are very limited anyway, so I know this machine is going to spend most of its time on the trail, so we optioned it accordingly. The Switchback Assault 146 is just one of those sleds that can do everything really, really well. Now, in STV, I've got the luxury of choosing from a fleet of snowmobiles depending on what type of riding I'm going to be doing. Now, if I had to choose just one sled to do it all, I'd be pretty hard pressed to choose anything any better than this machine.